Welcome to Healers Talk Healing. I'm your host, Nina Ganguly. Join us on this exhilarating journey as we share the wisdom and insights that can truly transform your life. It's time to embark on a voyage towards a happier, healthier you. I'm not sure if you agree with me, but I feel like the, healing and looking at gut health and looking at your liver and looking at, your physicality is something that's fairly new in the Western world. You know,
Yes.
for,
Mhm.
2 or 3 or 4 years ago, I wouldn't have heard about gut health and the connection, mind-body connection to that. Um, what do you would what do you why do you think that is now, that this is now becoming a huge topic of conversation?
Yeah, I think it's really sad that it's only now because your gut is 70% of your immune system, which is a very big portion, and so much hormonal activity happens in the gut. But why it's happening now is a few reasons. One, there were a lot of influencers like me that started openly talking about it. Like I started a YouTube page in 2015 being like, "Hey, I'm Shaz and nobody knows what's wrong with me, but I have these symptoms and I'm gonna share my experience." And that's kind of how like my business started. And so many people commented, like, I have those symptoms too, and all that kind of stuff. And gut health really started trending, to be honest, not just because of me, but because a lot of people started opening up and being honest about it. Um, and I do think our generation, as they're getting younger, being having more freedom to speak without feeling so fearful. So I think that helps. We have a lot more ability to say what we need to say and share this information over social media. Um, but also the way we grew up is very important to analyze.
Mm,
Like we were a generation that grew up on a lot of candy, and it doesn't matter where you live. We all somehow had the same childhood. Like we all ate Dunkaroos. We all had Gushers. We all, you know what I mean? We all had Dairy Queen and McDonald's and all the things, which is fine, but I think we were also overprescribed antibiotics a lot. Like back then, if you had an ear infection, antibiotics. If you had a little bit of a sore throat, antibiotics. Like there was no hesitation on giving the antibiotics, and that heavily damages the gut. And then not only that, we are a generation that has a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety, and that requires a lot more medication. We are very much forced the birth control pill, again, which is a huge distributor for gut health, So there's a lot of reasons why the gut is more damaged in general,
mhm.
because there are a lot of older generations that are like, what is gluten free? I've eaten bread my whole life and had never had a stomach issue.
Mm.
So I think it's a generational thing, and that we're experiencing more gut issues, and that we have the ability to speak on social media and the internet to share what we're suffering with.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm of your mother's generation.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I can say about that is we did not learn to advocate for ourselves. We
Hmm.
we are a generation of, if the doctor says A, you don't
Yeah.
question the doctor, you do A, even
Right.
if you're like, I'm not sure. Like
Mm.
I'm at the point with my doctor now where I go in and I say, okay, this is what's happening. I think
Yeah.
this is what I need. And she just does a couple of checks and balances and she's like, here,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, you're right. But when I was your age, if my doctor said to me this, and this,
Yeah.
like I was prescribed tetracycline for acne. Now that's
Right.
like, if anybody knows now what tetracycline does, it kills everything in your, like, good, bad, not,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
terrible. And
That's
I
still being
suffered.
prescribed, by the way.
Yeah, it's so funny because I didn't know that, because I was on the birth control at the time. We were
Yeah.
not told that, oh, by the way, when you're on birth control, by the way, your pills don't, you're on antibiotics, your pills don't work. Be nice if
Right.
someone said that.
Exactly.
Secondly, secondly,
Yeah.
I suffered with so many yeast infections and I didn't know why.
Right. Yeah.
And it was because of, being on tetracycline, I shouldn't have even been on the pill if I was on tetracycline. I think that's,
Right.
you know, now that I'm thinking about it, gosh, I've never actually told anybody about that. So I
Yeah.
think, for women and men of my age, we were in a space where like you listen to your teachers, you listen to the doctor, you did not question anything because we were brought up that way. You don't
Yeah.
question quote unquote experts or authority. So
Right.
I think that there is a benefit to
Yeah.
being of, how we say, oh, this generation.
Yeah.
Every generation, by the way, says that about the next generation.
Yeah, I know. It's silly. We should all be working together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think there's a lot to learn cross generationally from everyone. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, rate, and review our podcast. Your feedback and support mean the world to us. Remember, healing is a lifelong journey, and you have the power to transform your life in profound ways.